Good day to everyone. Now is the very end of the summer and the very beginning of the fall. And now is the best time to buy the early flowering bulbs. There is a huge choice of them. And the bigger the offer, the more difficult the choice. But if you know well what do you buy, then the choice becomes much less difficult, isn't it? I will start my navigation in the sea of early flowering bulbs by introducing the oldest, the classic and the best known from ages ago. In the order of their appearance in the garden, beginning from the end of the winter. Eva was expelled from the paradise. It was cold and she was desperate. Then the night came and it started to snow and she stood at the edge of complete breakdown. She raised her eyes intending to have a word with the gods and she saw an angel. The angel stretched his hands to her and in his hand fell a snowflake. It melted and turned into a little white flower, Galanthus. And the angel said, "This little bell will ring the winter away." The snowdrop is really very small, tiny and fragile, just like a drop of milk hanging on a green thread. That is why it has to be the first, just to be noticed. The good news is it multiplies very quickly. If you plant it in a good place, somewhere under the trees or in half shadow. Leave him in peace and in 2-3 years you will be the happy owner of a cute colony snowdrops, with charming fragrance by the way. Then come crocus, also small but bigger, and this family is really colorful. There are autumn and spring crocuses with smaller and bigger flowers. The smallest are also the earliest. They present themselves better in small groups of 3 to 6, in my opinion. But if you prefer bigger groups, why not? All of the same color or mix match. Plant them on a sunny place. The flowers will stay wide open only in the bright sunshine. And they also smell sweet and tender. Then come my favorite, irises. Love them. I've made already a video about them and I'll make some more, that's for sure. Long ago, when the gods lived on Olympus and regularly paid a visit to Greeks, the river god Cephisos and his nymph Liriope had got a son and called him Narcissus. He was a super handsome young man. Each and every woman was onto him. But he didn't care. He was just focused on hunting animals. Once, while he was chasing a goat in the mountains, a pretty nymph called Echo saw him. And she had been already going through hard time. She had to escort the goddess Hera during her mountain vacations recently. Echo did her best to entertain the sister of Zeus and was talking and explaining and telling things all the time. Hera was sick and tired of it and punished Echo so that the poor girl could not talk and could only repeat the words of others. In search of consolation, Echo fell in love with Narcissus and followed him everywhere, invisible for him, but repeating each word he said, until finally, to satisfy his curiosity, he asked her to show herself, and she did, and he, as usual, pushed her away. For Echo that was the last drop. She retreated in a cave and died there from despair. Only her voice remained. Her friends, other nymphs, were furious and asked the gods to punish Narcissus by letting him feel unrequited love himself. Next time, when Narcissus wanted to drink from a lake, the gods turned the water into a mirror. And guess what happened? He fell in love with himself and got a hopeless situation and also died from despair. The nymphs wanted to cremate his body and they found nothing but a bizarre white flower. Hyacinth. This flower does not need a attended legend. It speaks for itself. Hyacinth has its all: presence, colors, and magnificent perfume, different for each color. Light colors, tender, sweet, fruity. Dark colors, intense and a bit spicy. You can easily let them blossom inside, but choose the light-colored varieties. Or place the dark-colored hyacinth in a place with good ventilation. Their fragrance is very intense. Tulip has also its history, and this had happened in the real life. All Shamekan elites were turbaned on their heads and had tulips in their Persian gardens. To carry a tulip in a turban was the sign of richness and significance, just like drive a Bugatti or carry Hermes Heli Rose Gold bag. About 1550, Sultan Suleiman I gave the King of Bohemia and Hungary, Ferdinand I, the royal present, a few tulip bulbs in an expensive box. His Majesty Ferdinand I had no time to deepen into the Oriental symbolism, considered the present at least as useless, and sent the bulbs in an expensive box to his royal botanician, Professor Carolus Clusius, who started the top-secret scientific experiment growing tulips in Netherlands. Why top secret? No one knows. He just wanted to know, where do these strange flames and stripes come from? They come from a virus, by the way, but Mr. Carolus could not know it then. You do not believe what happened after. A royal present in an expensive box, top secret, must be something very valuable. So, some bad guy stole the bulbs in an expensive box. He sold the bulbs to a farmer. What happened with an expensive box is not relevant. The bulbs in the years 1573 up to 1577 caused the tulip fever in Netherlands, the first known speculation affair in history. On the stock market, they paid exuberant amounts for the tulip bulbs. For example, one was paid its weight in gold, or 3 were exchanged for a big channel house in Amsterdam. Some became incredibly rich, another lost everything. Mr. Carolus did not earn a penny, and he kept on missing opportunities to become a millionaire. It was him who introduced potatoes, tomatoes, tobacco, beans and maize in Europe. He was just a royal botanician. This is Anemona. She used to be a beautiful nymph, but her superior goddess Flora had turned her into a flower. The same old story. Flora was in love with the Zephyrus, the god of wind, and he was up to Anemona. Nice to know that the flowers in your garden are in fact semi-gods or semi-goddesses in disguise. Try to ask them a favor. The name of this one is, in Old Greeks, Rena, means a little frog, and they were in the same legendary expensive box stolen from Clusius, and they also look like the turban but they do not have stripes and flames. Still, they are so cute. I should better stop just now, otherwise Hera will be angry and punish me. I'll see you soon. Avio, vio, io, yo, yo.